Well done, Tommy.
Is that bacon on your turkey leg?
They call it a Swanson.
Wow.
Friday spaghetti!
That guy rules.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Binging with Babish, where this week, after visiting Disney World on my new show, Being with Babish, I'm hungry for a turkey leg, and leave it to Ron Swanson to wrap one in bacon. But first, we have to negotiate this whole turkey because it's March, and grocery stores aren't selling turkeys, so I had to special order this guy, and I'm going to show you how to extract its legs and wings. First, on the wings, we're cutting through the skin down to the joint, separating the bones, and running our knife in between. Easy peasy. And it's an excellent warm-up for removing the drumsticks, because it's the exact same concept, only harder. Try to find the joint and start making radial cuts around towards it until you reach the two bones in question. Then try to twist the leg until they separate, run your knife in between, and sweet, sweet freedom. One helpful thing to look for is this little strip of white fat that runs along the joints in most poultry. Just try to make some long, even cuts along that fat and you should have no problem finding the joint. We'll deal with the rest of this turkey later because for now we have to prepare a cure. Not that kind of cure, this turkey's totally dead. No, a meat cure out of 1 1/2 cups of distilled water, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1/2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1 1/2 teaspoons of Proud Powder number 1, which is a kind of pink curing salt, and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1/2 tablespoons of dark brown sugar. Go ahead and tiny whisk those together until they are completely dissolved. Get your face right down in there and make sure that there is no particulate left, but not too close because Prague powder is toxic to humans, but not in this application because only a little tiny bit ends up in the meat. Now I've got the turkey divided in half into 2 Ziploc bags, so I'm going to measure out exactly half of our cure and put it into each bag because we are f***ing with science right now. Then you might notice I had the tops of my bags folded down, that is to prevent cross-contamination, and now I'm going to press all the air out, seal it up, making sure that as much of the meat comes in contact with as much of the liquid as possible. Then we're placing these in a bowl and refrigerating for 24 hours, turning every 12 hours or so, before we hop in the car and make our way out to the suburbs where my buddy Steve has a smoker that I don't totally know how to use. So Steve, why don't you come on in here and show us how to use it? I'm going to do my best Steve impression because he's not here to do the voiceover. Hi, my name's Steve. What I'm going to do is place these apple and cherry wood chips that I've had soaking for half an hour onto these hot charcoals, which I've also had preheating for about half an hour. And then I'm going to replace the grate, have my friend Andy drop in the ambient temperature probe, close it up, and let the heat stabilize to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, adjusting the vents as necessary. There you go, Andy, all ready for your turkey. Thanks, Steve. I'm going to start by probing the thickest drumstick at its thickest point, and if you have very thick cut butcher bacon like this, you want to wrap it now. If you have thinner grocery store style bacon, you want to wrap it in about half an hour or once the joints register about 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Close it up, crack open a beer, and watch half an hour fly by. Use this time to work on your other impressions like your Ted Danson. Hey, Ted Danson here, taking a break from being a goddamn sex machine to show you how you would wrap turkey legs in thinner bacon after 30 minutes of cooking. I kind of recommend doing this anyway because the skin underneath the thick cut bacon doesn't really get that same mahogany color. Anyway, back over to you, Andrew. Thanks, Ted. Wow, this is a star-studded episode. Anyway, now that my neighbors probably think I'm insane, let's grab our turkey drumsticks, plate them up, and let them rest for about 10 minutes before digging in. Mostly because you're going to want to spend that 10 minutes marveling at the color of these things. They're like meaty bottles of Cabernet wrapped in burgundy strips of hardwood smoked happiness. Curing the meat adds a distinct flavor, smoking it accentuates and amplifies it, and then we wrapped it in bacon. And the wings aren't bad either. Sorry, I didn't mention it before. Pull these off after they've reached 185 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you will excuse me and Steve, we have to introduce these into the Clean Bone Club. And then I collapsed my tripod and drove back home so I could mess with the rest of this turkey, which I'm going to peel the skin off and then remove the breasts from by making long, clean cuts down the side of the breastbone. I'm going to do the same thing with the thigh meat by cutting and scraping down the side of the thigh bone until I've gotten all of the remaining dark meat extracted. Now is a great opportunity to pay your future self a huge favor and throw this carcass into a stock pot, make some amazing turkey stock, and freeze it. Your November self will thank you, and your current self will thank you if you cut all of the breast and thigh meat into 1-inch cubes, place them on a parchment-lined baking sheet, freeze for 15 minutes or until they're firm around the edges, and grind up in a food processor. This is way better than any store-bought ground turkey and will make some serious Traeger turkey burgers. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm pretty comfortable. How about you?
Very comfortable. I've never done anything like this before. This is episode 1 and this is a big moment. Hey man, how you doing? Hey, come on in. Surprise! My name's Andrew.
I know.
Oh, cool.
Oh no.